Hello viewers, this is your host Sushil and I'm here with my next video in which we are going to learn how to add zeros prior to a number in a single or a multiple Excel cell in a given sheet. Now why do we require to have such kind of zeros? Now if you see here we have got a few numbers here 232, 354, 135, 684 and 23. If we try to write say 00023 and say enter, by default Excel in this cell neglects or does not take into consideration the zeros which were typed before 23. So there are cases that where to keep a uniform database or for certain kind of formulas or for running a formula like length and left or right kind of formulas wherein the number of string or the digits appearing in a number required to be of a specific count. So in this case, if you see here on screen the first number 232 that has got a cell besides it wherein the value is 00232, wherein now you see the two zeros have been added before the number 232. Well, if I use a formula here, say len, and then I choose this formula and say enter, I see it gives a value 5. Whereas if the same formula I use len and choose the earlier cell here, B3 cell, it will return me the value 3. So friends, now this is one of the important requirement of having the number of digits as 5 here, maybe. So if I want to say, for example, I'm going to use a formula. If besides this, if length is equal to say 5, then say the value should be congrats. Okay, or else it can be null. Okay. So there it is. I'll close the parenthesis and say enter. So there it is. In this way we can use it. If I copy the same formula here, say I copy and say right click and then say paste special the formulas here, you see it has come as null. Or if I instead of writing it as null, if I say failed, there it is, it will say failed. So in this way it is very much essential to have the string of the digits in a given number format in a specific way or specific numbers. So with this introduction to as to why we should add zeros before a given number, I will begin with various ways of adding zeros before a given number. So let us begin with, this is the first way. In this case, we're going to use the function base, and if I say is equal to base parenthesis open, it says number. So what number do we require to add in here? And now I'm going to say the first number is this one. I give a comma before besides this. Now it comes to radix. Now what is this radix? Radix is nothing else but the base that is being used in this case. Now if we talk about decimal numbers are generally defined from digits 0, 1, 2, 3 onwards up to 9. So basically there are 10 digits or 10 numbers which define the decimal way of expressing a number, and so in that case the base or the radix there is 10. If we talk about say binary numbers are 0 and 1. So there are only two types of binary numbers, and in that case the base becomes 2. So here I'm going to type 10 as the base, then give comma. The next thing it asks is minimum length. So the length or whatever we require here to be defined. Say for example, I want uh, 7 characters or 7 digits. I'll put 7 and I'll close the parenthesis and say enter. As soon as I do that, now if we count from the right, 4 3 or 4 5 3 0 0 0 zeros, there are 7 digits in this. That is what we wrote 7 here with the base 10. That means it is going to take zeros as the additional digits to complete this 7 value or 7 units of digits. And what number it was before, that is 354. In this way 354 has got added with 4 zeros and the length of this cell value has become 7. Now friends, if you see, we have learned in our earlier videos and it's quite obvious that a numeric value or a number format value is always right aligned, whereas the text is always left aligned. So it's needless to say that from a number value or number format, the value has got changed into text format. If I pull down this formula over here and apply it to the remaining ones, there it is. Now we have 7 digits in each of these numbers. So we have brought in the uniformity. And if I decide to copy this here down, it says null because that is what was written here. If I decide to copy the formula over here, it will continue to say as failed. So now in that case, if I go here and change the formula to say 7, certainly it will say congrats. In this way, one can use the multiple formulas in nesting with this base form function or any other way that we're going to learn to define or to decide the number of digits in a given numeric cell in a Excel cell. Okay, with this we'll go to the next way. That was the first way. We learned the base function. Now we'll go to say I'll go into the power way or the power function here. This is not a regular Excel function and it is a specific or special category of Excel application. How do one apply a power query? Let me explain you. So basically in Office 365 the power query comes inbuilt. If you have got earlier versions of Excel, you will have to download this free add-in from the Excel site or Microsoft site, and you will find it anywhere on the Google or on Microsoft site where you can download it from. Once download, the MSI file will have to be run on your computer. For that, you need to have your admin rights on your computer, and once done, you can run the Power Query. Now I'll explain you how to run the Power Query. Here I have already run it in one of my earlier worksheets, and this is how I have added zeros. So the values in the column here have been added with the zeros in here by using the Power Query. Now let me explain you how did I use this Power Query. Going ahead, I'll go to the Data tab. In Data tab, I'll go to the Get Data tab. In Get Data tab, I have got here Launch Power Query Editor. Friends, I hope you have got it up till now. So I'll proceed further. Launch Power Query Editor. There is the editor. As soon as I reach there, it gives me multiple options like Home, Transform, Add Column, and View. I'm not going to explain you Power Query Editor usage here, but I'm going to just apply Power Query for adding zeros to the column. So what do I take in as an input here? I'm going to say new source. From the new source, I'll choose file. I have multiple options here to choose from. I can use a database or I can use other sources like web and blah blah. But right now I'm going to choose from file and Excel file. The Excel file is the one that I'm using here. I'm going to say import. There it is. It is importing the file. Once imported, I know my worksheet that is power. I'm going to double click that and now it will get imported in here. Right now I'm going to raise a Power Query 2 here. The Power Query 1 is already has been raised here. I had already shown you how I have done that, or I have shown you the application of the Power Query by running it earlier. Now I'm going to show you how did I do that. After I'm here in the Power Query 2, that is the second query that I'm going to raise here, I'm going to say go to add column, custom column, and there it is, the Power Query. Or rather, I'll do one thing before I go ahead with this. I will first delete the earlier Power Query so that it does not superimpose on that. There it is. I have deleted it. Now I'll go to the new Power Query. In this, I'm going to say add column, custom column. Once I'm there, I will give a name to the custom column, say add adds underscore 0. This is the name I'm giving to this. Now I'm going to write a formula here. Text text dot pad start, open parenthesis, give a square bracket. In that I'll type the name of this column, that is column1. I'll close the square parenthesis, give a comma, then as many digits I need in that I'm going to code that. I'm going to say 7, and after that give another comma, and what do I need there is text 0. There it is. I will go there to 0, close the inverted commas, close the parentheses, and there are no syntax errors here. Now I will say OK. Once done, now it gives me an error here. What is this error? The error is something to do with the type, so I'm going to say change type. I am going to delete it. I delete it, and as soon as I do it, there it is. I get the values here, and once I have done with this, I'll go to home and I'll say close and load. So there it is. I have created a Power Sheet or a Power Query using the database which I had in my Excel file in the worksheet. Power here, this is database I have used in here, and I have created a Power Query. Friends, I have used only about 5 numbers here which are already left aligned, that means those are text formatted, and only 5 I could run the Power Query right now. If at all you have got a database of say 25,000 rows or multiple columns, then you will have a big headache to do this manually, whereas the Power Query does it for you within seconds or split of second. I hope you have followed this way. If you have not followed it, I request you to see this video twice and practice it on your own till the time you are successful in applying this. This is one of the most complex ways of adding zeros, and the other ways what I'm explaining are much simpler than this. But this is the most powerful way. The base function what I had used earlier is another good way. But now subsequently I'm going to tell you the most easiest and the most recommended ways. In the earlier two applications, I have shown you that the database or the data values have been converted into text format. And now I'm going to tell you a way where you don't have to convert your numeric format or numerical format or number format to a text format. So now friends, let me type in some numbers here, say 256, 4547. I'm randomly writing whatever numbers I feel like. So there is nothing as such as planned, and 325444. So this way I have added here digits wherein the first two digits are having 3 unit places. This one has got 4, this has got 5, and this has got 6. Now I'm going to apply the custom format method here and change this into certain number of digits. Say let me take 6 in this case and convert them into numerical format itself without changing them to text format. So how do I do that? I go here, I have multiple way, I can say control 1. So there I go to the format cells, this is one way, and go to custom, and then I'll explain you how to go ahead. But before that, I'll show you another way. I go to here drop down, and in this drop down I can go to the number format and then say custom. So I've shown you two ways of reaching here. Once we are there, I'll go over here, and now if I want to six digits with zeros, there it is. I have written 0 0 0 0 and 0. So there are 6 times I have written 0. You see here in the sample one can see 0 0 0 256. So the number 256 will get converted into 0 0 0 256. And as soon as I say OK, there it is. All the numbers have got converted into 6 digits. Whatever the earlier digits have been added with 00 or 0 in the beginning, and this way one can change the number from 3 digits to 6 digits, or 6 digits retained to 6 digits itself. 5 digits to 6 digits is the example here where I have clicked right now. And in all these cases, if you see whatever we see on the screen here, I will highlight this cell. So one can see there are 5 digits, 69878, that is what is seen here. But in actual, one sees there are 6 digits here in the Excel cell. So when Excel is displaying it, it is displaying as 6 digits, whereas when calculations are being done in Excel at the back end, it will consider it as only 5-digit number without a 0 in the beginning. So this way one can find out ways of using or converting a string into a n number of length. I'm going to use this formula again. Len, I'm going to choose this and say close parenthesis. As soon as I say here, you see it still continues to say the length of this number is only 3 digits. So if I use a formula, say left and choose the text, now it is going to give me error. I hope so, because it's not text. And I say left, I'm going to say 2. Two numbers only I want, the first two characters. There it is. It hasn't given me a error because it has converted by default the number 256 into text. and the first two digits it has not calculated or it has not counted the zeros here. Rather, the formula or the function left has returned me the value as 25, that is first two digits of this number. So if I go and convert it to 3, I'll get the 3 there. If I go and say 4, there it is. It will still continue to give me 256. So here Excel is not adding any zero at the fourth place. Fine. So viewers, this is the most recommended way of converting a number with addition of zeros to its beginning or towards the left. Fine. Now the further options or the further ways are quite simple, and I'll walk you through them very soon. There it is. We are now to the next tab wherein how to convert a given number by using apostrophe. This is a very common way of doing it, and most of the users in Excel, even the primary users, know it how to do that. It's easy. You have to just write a apostrophe in the beginning of that number, and then say 000, say I'm adding 3 zeros here, and say 135 and say enter. As soon as I do that, it gets converted into text format, and then in the beginning there are zeros which are added, plus there is an error here now, or error, or rather it's saying a warning. It's not an error, it's giving a warning that the number stored as a text. So viewers, in this case, in this application, by using the apostrophe, a number format gets converted into text format, and there it is. We get the 000 in the beginning, but then the right aligned number has shifted into left aligned text format. It's quite easy. We are going to add the apostrophe to this, and then add as many zeros as you wish. There it is. Same thing I'm going to do here. Add apostrophe and add the zeros as many as required. So this is the way one can use apostrophe to convert a number into a text format with n number of zeros towards the left of that number. If I click this here in the display, it will continue to display the zeros as well as the number, which was not the case when we use the custom format for number format. Let us go to the next way of doing this. Same thing. Now here I'm going to use the function concatenate. I'll go here and say is equal to con. As soon as I say concatenate, there are two ways of doing it. Concat. I'll type the full string. So earlier versions of Excel had concatenate as a complete one, and the equivalent in the current Office 365 is concat. I'll open the parenthesis, and then now it says the text. So number one, I'm going to say now I need to append zeros in the beginning, so I'm going to choose, say I want to add 4 zeros here. I choose 4 zeros in double inverted commas, then I give comma, and the next thing I want is it should be followed by the number here, which is on the which is in the left cell. I close the parenthesis and I say enter. As soon as I do, there it is. I see 354 has been appended with or concatenated with the 4 zeros which I chose to add there. And if I do the same thing here with the next rows, I copy the formula and there it is. Now if you see, when I say only 4 zeros are to be appended in front of 23, it becomes a number with 6 digits, whereas when it was 684, which was basically 3-digit number, I appended or I concatenated 4 zeros to that, it became a 7-digit number. So this is a difference between what was we did in the power query, or in base version of doing it of adding the digits, or in format. So this is why I had recommended the number format or custom format as a number, because here the number of digits can be made very uniform irrespective of what were the number of digits in the original number. Fine. So there are advantages and disadvantage of every application that I am explaining. So this is a disadvantage of concatenate. Fine. Let us go to the next way of doing it. Here we are going to use ampersand. How do we do that? Is we are going to say here is equal to, now this is going to do nothing else, but it is going to add up or join two texts. Now the first text value will be the number of zeros that we need to add or we wish to add. I'm going to add two zeros here, close the double inverted commas, give and ampersand value, and what next I wish to add is this cell. Once done, I say enter, and there it is. The two zeros has got added to 354, or I would say joined or attached to 354 by using the function ampersand. So I'm going to pull this formula for the next cells, and there it is. Again, this has got the same disadvantage as of concatenate. Here there is no uniformity of number of digits in this. So if one wishes to have 23 converted into 5-digit number, one will have to add another 0 in this text and then use the ampersand formula. So this becomes case specific and one has to remember this in mind. Let us go to the next way of doing it. Now here I'm going to use the REPT function. Now what is this? Let me demonstrate to you. When I say REPT, it replaces text a given number of times. So I say REPT, I go to this. Now what text do I need to add? I need to add text 0. So I'm going to put it into double inverted commas, and then how many times do I need to add it? Now I'm going to use the length formula here. Now suppose I wish to have this number to be 8 digited with 0 added onto whatever number of digits are there in the given number. So I'm going to say 8, and how many zeros do I need to add? Now I want to make this formula very much conversant or very much uniform to see that 8 digits are added. So now I'm going to use the length formula here. I'm going to say 8 minus len. So length will return me the number of the characters or number of digits in the given text. I'm going to choose the text length as this cell. I'm going to close it. There it is. And then how many number of times do I do that? So I'm going to close this parenthesis. So now this is what is going to give me or return me the number of zeros which will be added to the given cell or given number, and to that I'm going to add the cell itself. So I'm going to say ampersand, and what do I need at the end besides the 0 is this value. So once it is done, I'm going to say enter, and there it is. It gives me a 8-digit number here with 232 on the rightmost side and 5 zeros added to the original number. So in this way, the replace formula, I'm going to use it. So it is REPT, that means replace text. So it replaces given text by adding zeros, and this, had I not used the len length characteristics or length formula here, if I decide to say comma only this much, had I done that, then this formula would have not been universal, and there it is. So there is an excess parenthesis. I'm going to remove that. There it is. So then in this case, what would have happened is now it has added 0 8 times to the original number. So now if I go here, you can see 232 plus 8 zeros, that is, this number has become 11 digit number, right? This is the difference between REPT with length character, length formula that I had used, and without length formula that I chose not to use the second time. So if I pull it down here again, now you see there's a difference here. The last number was only 2 digit, and to that we have got 0 added 8 times, so the complete number has become only 10 digits, whereas my expectation was it should have been 11 digits. So I'm going to say Control Z and Control Z. Control Z once again. There it is. So here I had got a uniformity of 8-digit number all over. Fine. So this is how one has to take care of using multiple formula in a nested way to achieve the given result. So with this REPT or replace text formula, let's go on to the next way of doing it. Now the next way is by using a text command. Now how do a text command be used? Now text command is nothing else but one requires to add some zeros, some number of zeros, then that has to be put into double inverted commas as a text, and that will get attached to the original value here. So I'm going to say is equal to text text function, open parenthesis, what value do I require it? So here in this case, the value comes first and then the format text comes second. So I have chosen this cell as B5. I'm going to say comma, and format text here will be the open double inverted commas and as many zeros one wishes to append in front of this number or along with this number. On the left side, I'm going to put three zeros, or say, let me say two zeros, and I'm going to close these double inverted commas, close the parentheses, and say enter. There it is. There it is. So now basically, test function did not work here. Let me check what happened. So what was that? What was that? I hope you must have guessed it. Now you see, this has been a three-digit number 353, whereas when I put in here, I only put the text command with only two zeros. So at least I should put three zeros. That means the number of digits 353, that is 3, will be repeated as it is. And if I want to add zeros to that, then the number of zeros which are to be keyed in here should be more than the original number of digits. So now I'm going to put in three more zeros here, and now with these five zeros, now as a result I'll get 354 added with two zeros on the left side, and there it is. So friends, keep this in mind that the number of zeros here are nothing else but the number of digits that you will be required. So in this way, one can choose to append this formula all over, and as a result, the benefit of this formula is one gets out, or one as a result finds out a common or a uniform number of digits in all the cells here. Now if at all I choose to have a 65485, so this is a number, and I choose here the formula here. So with the text formula here and only 5 digits to be added, now there is no need of adding any 0 to this 5-digit number, so it appears as it is in the result set. Hope I am clear in this text command. Let me go on to the next way of doing it, and this is the last way of doing it. I am not very much in favor, or I personally don't like this method of doing it, text formatting, but well, I'll explain you how to do that. So now here I go and I choose it to convert into a text format. So as soon as I put in the text format, that gets shifted to the left aligned cell, and to that left aligned cell I can keep on adding as many zeros I wish to add. So this way one can choose to add zeros to the left side by converting that numeric format cell or number format cell to a text format cell. But this is a manual work, and every cell has to appended individually, and number of zeros to be added here has to be manually filled in. So I'm choosing the remaining three cells, convert into text format, and with this each cell I'm going to the left side and adding two zeros. The next one I'll go here and add a few more zeros here. How to add that is, I have chosen F2. I go to the left side of this double zeros. Then again I go down, I say F2. F2 is the key required for editing a cell. Now here I'm going to add three zeros so that I retain 5-digit number. That is the way of changing the text format and then appending each number with a zero onto the left side. So friends, this is what I had to explain you for adding zeros onto the left side of a number. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there were the 9 ways that I explained you how to change it into a number in either format or a text format with zeros appended on the left side of a number. Excel by default chooses to not consider zeros on the left side of a given number. I hope this video was useful and informative for you. You have learned some things, new things, as well as a repetition or revision of few formulas which were of your knowledge from beginning. But well, this revision will certainly give you a good practice and a refreshing mind to learn something new. I hope you apply your learnings in your daily day-to-day work in personal as well as in professional life. If you have liked this video, please express your likes at the YouTube channel. In case you have not subscribed this channel till now, please do subscribe it. There are a lot of videos which are of your use and do not miss it. This is the advice I can give you. I will be back with my new video soon. Till then, goodbye. Take care.